Today you are going to learn how to do sign in with Apple. This is going to be a quick demo and then we're going to get straight into the code right after. But this is what you'll have after a short 8 minutes or however long this video is. We have the welcome and we also have a sign out button that doesn't look that good. And there we go, that's the demo. So we're going to exit out. Let's exit out all this stuff. That's OBS, we're recording. Don't mind that. And we'll get out of that. So we're going to cd out of this folder that we just made, and we're going to be using the create expo app to generate all the expo app that we're going to be using because we are using expo. And before you get started, expo also has expo apple login. Expo has this expo-apple-authentication, so if you're not using Firebase, you can use this, but I can do this video for another time, but this is specifically expo and Firebase. So now that we have the expo create expo app at latest, we're going to call it Apple Video 2 because I messed up on the first video. So now this is the second video, and we're going to be using the template called tabs, which is down here. Now we're going to cd into our Apple Video 2, and we are going to open up our code editor. Perfect. Open up a terminal. And so we have 4 different packages we're going to be installing: Firebase auth, Firebase app, this Apple authentication package, and expo-build-properties. I'm just going to be copying and pasting them in. Now, once they are installed, we are also going to edit our app.json. We're going to be editing this plugins array first. This plugins array modifies the native code. And so when we run npx expo pre-build, and we're only going to be working with iOS, so we're going to do the platform tag, and then run iOS. This will modify the native code to include these packages, which you would normally have to do manually, but Expo takes care of it for you, so that's awesome. Yes, the bundle identifier will be Apple-Video 2. And so we got this error, Swift pod, Firebase core internal, blah, blah, blah. And so this basically means we have not set up our Firebase and our we haven't generated the google.plist first. So what we're going to be doing is going to Firebase and generating our Firebase project. So we're going to go to Firebase console.firebase.google. We're going to create a project, and we're going to say Apple Video 2, or we can say, you know what, like the video, because we gotta like the video out there. So we're gonna create a project. We're going to hit continue, and we are going to go build a Apple iOS app, and we're going to use this bundle identifier in the app.json, which we decided on earlier, which is somewhere over here, which is not here. Okay, well, we'll just make our folder. We'll do column.andrew.heim, and we'll call it apple.video 2, and Apple nickname. Leave a comment, please. Register the app. And so I'm going to show you in a quick example. So first, we're going to download the Google services info. We're going to hit next, 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 continue to console. And so normally we would just throw our, we're going to go into our downloads. This is the old one. This is the one we just downloaded. We're going to throw this into here. And as you can see here, I don't see any reversed client ID, and we're going to need that later on. But the only way to generate that is to first go into authentication, get started, and we're going to, even though we are only doing Apple, we're going to generate this Google folder, this Google authentication, and enable it. This will generate something called a reverse client ID, which we need when we're running the Apple auth. It's a bug that's current right now, but sometime in the future that may be fixed. So you may not need to do that. So as you can see, it actually had us download a new plist, but I ignored that. So we're going to enable Apple now. Scroll down. We're also going to need this later, so we may have to come back to this. But for now, let's go to our project. We'll go to the leave a comment, please. And we're going to go get our new Google service.plist. And then I forgot to delete this one, so we're gonna have to relabel this one as well. And let's throw that into the root directory, replace it, and boom, we have our reverse client ID. So now that's good. So we can exit out of those, and now now we can run npx expo run iOS, if I can spell it right, but and this will automatically run npx expo run prebuild for the iOS folder. So it should generate this. So it looks like we're still getting the error, and for some reason it's not updating, and now it should be updating. I don't know why. Basically, it wasn't saving this lines as well as the iOS lines. So I believe it should be fixed now. So now let's do npx expo run iOS. So what I did was run the command npx. So I wasn't really sure why it wasn't working, but I ran the command npx expo prebuild platform iOS after also saving the app.json, which for some reason it wasn't saved. So now it looks like it should be working. Oh yeah. So it looks like that looks good right there. So in general, it generated the Apple identifier that we wanted to use, but we're also going to want to add the Google service.plist. Right now, it doesn't know where that line is, and so we're just going to add it there. Let's get rid of this comma, and let's run the same command again. And this should, okay, perfect. We have correctly generated the iOS folder right here. And now if we run npx expo run iOS, then it will pull up our simulator. Okay, great. We have our simulator running. Everything seems to be working. So now we're going to get into the actual React Native Firebase. I'm in the React Native Firebase documentation. We're going to authentication, social authentication, and we're going to click on the Apple because that's what we're doing. So we're going to scroll down. To get started, we install this library. We've already done that. Bada boom, bada bing. We've already ensured that the Firebase console is set up. Bada boom, bada bing. We forgot about this, which is setting up your Apple developer account. So we're going to go over here. We're going to basically follow these directions and set it all up. So the first thing we're going to be doing is go into Xcode, and we're going to open an existing project. And we're going to find our video apple-video 2. Click on the iOS folder, and we're going to open. Now we're going to into the Apple Video 2. We're going to go to our Targets tab, click on the Apple Video 2, sign-in capabilities. We're going to select a team. We're going to select a team. You have to make an Apple developer account to finish this part. And we're also going to add the capability called sign in with Apple. Double click that, and bada boom, bada bing, we should be good. So now we're going to go to our Apple developer account. So we can say the Apple Connect store. Or you know what? Actually, we're going to go to scroll down here. We're going to follow these directions. And if we go to head over to the Apple developer console, and then we're going to do Control S certificates, IDs, and profiles. That's where we want to go. We are going to go to our identifiers. And as you can see, it hasn't been automatically generated. Apple Video 2. Actually, this is actually it right here. Apple-Video 2. So we're going to click on the Apple-Video 2, and we're going to do Control F. We're going to do sign in with Apple. We're going to make sure this is checked. We're going to edit it, and then right here we're going to add this this line from Firebase. So we're going to go back to our Firebase. Going to go to authentication. We're going to go to sign-in methods. We're going to go to Apple. We're going to scroll down, and we're going to copy and paste this this line right here. And we're going to go back to the Apple. We're going to paste that in, hit save, confirm, modifying the capabilities. Now we're going to go into our keys and create a new Apple Video 2 key. And we're going to go into, we never try and look for things. We always do Control F. We're going to select the primary ID, the Apple-Video 2 bundle identifier, and we're going to continue, and then we're going to continue, and then register. And then it's all registered. So should be good there. So now everything is set up in our Xcode and Apple Connect store. So let's go to our app, and now we can directly get started into coding our app. So the first thing we're going to do is delete these two. These are for the web. We're not on the web. We're going to create a new file just to make it very simple. We're going to call it index.tsx, and we're going to generate a new React Native component. We're going to save that. We also have to add that screen that we just made into our layout. So we're going to add a new copy and paste the tab screen, change it to index, and now the first screen on the stack is the index stack, and that's why it gets loaded up. So let's go to the index folder. I always do safe area view from React Native, just so then it's in the safe area. I got to keep it safe. And now we can start copy pasting code from the social authentication. So the first thing we're going to copy and paste in is this Apple button. So first we're going to import it from the library that we installed earlier in the video, and we're going to grab the Apple component. And so this is perfect because then we don't have to style it. We're going to get rid of this index too, and there we go. We have a white button. You can change this to black if you like. It stands out a little bit more on our gray background. And now we're gonna want to set up this on Apple button press function. We're gonna scroll down and we find that all the code is right here. So the first thing we're gonna do is import these two lines right here. So we actually only need, we can get rid of this one. We have to import this Apple auth, and then we also have the auth from there. So we have the correct imports. Now we just need the function. Copy and paste that function right here, and there we go. We are a developer. Let's go to, so now we have the function that logs us in. Once we're logged in though, nothing really happens. We want it to switch screens, so then the user is into the authentication. So what we're going to be doing is using this on-auth state change. So it basically listens for any authentication state change, which is going to happen when we click this button, and we'll get logged in. And so what we're going to do is start copy and pasting. This is the meat and the bones of the code right here. We have two functions, initializing, and we also have the use effect, perfect. So basically this will just listen for any auth state change, and then once there is a change, we'll set the user to whatever the user object is that is returned from the user, and it'll be either null or it will be an actual object. If it's an actual object, that means they're logged in, and we'll return this. Otherwise, we'll return the login screen if the user is null, and we'll return null also if the components are still loading. So we're going to copy and paste this in. This is like the main function, and right now, as you can see, the user is null because that's the default state, I believe. Well, it's not the default state, but yeah, but we can make it the default state. Basically, it's null. So we're gonna use our user login right here, but we want to show this component that we made earlier. So we're going to cut this right here, and we're going to replace this return statement with that. So now we have our sign in with Apple button again, and then once we're signed in, we'll go to this screen right here. And then we're going to go back, make sure we have everything. Bada boom, bada bing. Also, if you want to, if you actually launch the App Store, you're going to have to set up this code, which basically, when you delete account, you revoke a specific token. We're not going to worry about that, so we're just going to go and hit the sign in button. Yeah, it looks like we got an error first. Let's, I believe, reload the app, and then it should be working. Okay, now that we reload it, we click the sign in with the Apple button, and it is working. So we're going to head with the email, and we're going to put in our password. And boom, we are now in this block right here. If we go safe area view, we now have we can now see the user email better. And we're also going to want to add a sign out button, so then we can know if it's actually working. Basically, it just calls the auth and then sign out, and then it signs out. So let's click the sign out button, and it ends up working. So that is the tutorial. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and let me know what you want to see next.